Section 4 of the Spiritual Maxims of Brother Lawrence. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. The Presence of God. The presence of God is an applying of our spirit to God, or a realization of God as present, that is borne home to us by either the imagination or by the understanding. I have a friend who, these 40 years, has been practicing through the understanding a realization of the presence of God. To it he gives many other names. Sometimes he calls it a simple act, or a clear and distinct knowledge of God. At other times a view as through a glass, a loving gaze, an inward sense of God. Yet again he terms it waiting on God, a silent converse with him, a repose in him, the life and peace of the soul. Still, my friend tells me that all these ways in which he has expressed his sense of the presence of God come from the same thing, and that the presence fills his soul quite naturally, that it has come so to pass in this way. He says that by unwearying efforts, by constantly recalling his mind to the presence of God, a habit has been formed within him of such a nature that, so soon as he is freed from his ordinary labour, and not seldom when he is engaged thereon, his soul lifts itself up above all earthly matters, without a care or forethought on his part, and dwells as if it were firmly stayed on God, as in its centre and place of rest, faith almost always being his companion at such times. Let us mark well, however, that this intercourse with God he holds within the depth of his being. There it is that the soul speaks to God, heart to heart, and over the soul thus holding converse, there steals a great and profound peace. All that passes without concerns the soul no more than a fire of straw, which the more it flares, the sooner it burns itself out. And rarely indeed do the cares of this world ever intrude to trouble the peace that is within. But to come back to our consideration of the presence of God, you must know that the tender and loving light of God's countenance kindles insensibly within the soul, which ardently embraces it. So great and so divine a fire of love to God, that one is perforce compelled to moderate the outward expression of the feelings. Great would be our surprise if we but knew what converse the soul holds at these times with God, who seems to so delight in this communion, that to the soul which would fain ever abide with him, he bestows favours past numbering, and as if he dreaded lest the soul should turn again to the things of earth, he provides for it abundantly, so that the soul finds within faith a nourishment divine, a joy that has no measure, beyond its utmost thought and desire, and this without a single effort on its part, but simple consent. The presence of God is thus life and nourishment for the soul, and with the aid of his grace it can attain thereunto by diligent use of the means which I will now set out. End of section 4.